for you. No enemies here, that is. Why I look so ragged? Hold on, let me fix this. It was because I already wanted to see more of... it's even the wrong camera. What am I doing? Anyways, here we go. I got a new job. Yes, sirree. I'm a monitor at a college, a private college, from kindergarten to 12th grade. Yep, I monitor them all. And I tell you, I worked in a jail, and I had to take care of the convicts there, right? I did that for 3 years. I also worked in mental health for 20 years. And now I'm working in the school system, right? The private school system. And I tell you something. Working with convicts, there's rules. They know how to follow the rules. I know the rules, and I make sure they follow the rules, right? And there's a basic respect, right? They hate you, and you gotta act tough. Whatever, play the game, what can I say? And in mental health, I've dealt with people with psychosis on a daily basis for 20 years. So, dealing with human beings, I'm pretty good at. And especially human beings that are, on the outskirt of society, right? But I tell you something. I mean, what I want to say is that because of the rules in jail, there's a respect, right? And there's a fear on both sides. And in mental health, same thing. There's a respect and there's authority, man. You have to be an authority, and you basically have to say, look, this is your choice, this and this and that. Either you do this or you get out, whatever, or I call the cops. But these second graders, they're fearless. They ain't scared of nothing. Zero. I don't know if it's the parents' fault, this and this and that, but I'm telling you, yesterday, second graders were going insane. It's just like, man, they've been snorting sugar all day, man, all day, and it's just like, ah! And this is 11 o'clock in the morning. And we couldn't control them. We were 3 monitors and a teacher for 2 classes. I mean, they were going insane. So the only thing we had to do is sit down and let them freak out for half an hour. And then they realized what's going on. There's no authority here to tell us to stop, right? Something's wrong. So they're starting to calm down. So before they calm down, they're freaking out. So I'm trying to intervene. And they're screaming, man. But the shrills. Little girls, when they shrill... Yeah, listen, a piccolo in an orchestra ain't nothing compared to a little girl shrilling. And I'm like, holy cow, and I feel someone poking me, like in the back, doo, 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 doo. And I turn around, it's this little cute kid, man, he's like, he's got to be about that tall. So I say, yeah. And he tells me, with your stomach, you look like Santa Claus. Yeah, I had no words. My body expelled stuff, but I had no words. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody's going insane, and this kid tells me, because of my stomach, I look like Santa Claus. And I didn't know what to say, so I said, hey, kid, I even lost 50 pounds. What the hell does the kid know what 50 pounds is? He's in second grade. Holy cow. So that's why I look a little burnt. Don't you worry. And talking about worry, Jason Cruz, he's in New Orleans, right? And hurricane. I think he's having a hard time. I think he had to evacuate. And I haven't been watching the news because it's been a week since I've been working, so I'm basically going to bed at 9 o'clock, and waking up at 7. Hey, look, I need my sleep. And my feet hurt and my calves, whatever. Yeah, boo-hoo-hoo. Okay. And I'm going to have more stories about these kids, let me tell you. Okay? because stories come to me. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so I hope Jason's safe. If someone knows something about Jason, I know he posted 2 videos, and I'm going to feature that on the War Game News on what's happening this week. I hope you're safe, Jason. A few people are thinking about you. I got a few emails, especially one from Alan Dickerson saying, hey, what's up with this guy, man? You know, like, let's get in touch or something. He phoned me when I was at work, Alan. Alan, I'm sorry. I can't answer. The kids are flying faster than light. Worthington Publishing has a new Band of Brothers out. Check it out. I think it's the Pacific one. I forget the name. And it's on Kickstarter right now. Also, I was supposed to interview Ben Hull, which is going to be super interesting because I've been keeping in touch with him. And I can't this Sunday, so it's going to be next Sunday. But I'm going to put an ad out for that. And don't forget, 10% at Noble Night. Noble Night warehouse, game store. I mean, they got the biggest collection of war games. Seriously, it's just insane. And also, DVG on their website, 25% off DVG. I have these ads going in. Mark Walker has a video out on the new Gettysburg game by Herman Latman. The video is in here. You'll see the video. Check out his channel. You want to check it out? Check it out. Yeah, so he doesn't know how to do videos. But, well, what do you want? He's Mark, right? Lovely guy. What else is going on? I hope the Habs win the Stanley Cup this year because I think I'm going to start watching hockey. You know, I got to get over this Chris Chelios thing. You know, they did well last year, man. Come on, they were underdogs in second place, man. Give me a break. But they should have came in last because they would have got the first draft if they would have came in last. But whatever, this is a great outcome. And they weren't going to win against, who was it? Vegas or whatever. Vegas too strong, if it was Vegas. And if you smoke a pipe, get in touch with me, man. You're going to be in the pipe club and the Fokker Circus. All right? We already have Carl Credder. He's an ace. He's from the War Game Boot Camp. And I will be interviewing Carl and Tim from the War Game Boot Camp. They're presently at Pacificon. Right now, they're going to be with Harold Buchanan. They're going to be, I don't know, with Harold Buchanan, but Harold's going to be there at the Dice Tower Convention. In Vegas? I don't know. I got lots of stuff happening here. What else do I have to say? Tostevin, Gilbert Tostevin, the archaeologist, or anthropologist, or paleontologist. He's an ologist of sorts, but I think he's an archaeologist. He's gonna send me more videos. I hope to put it together. He has a drone checking stuff out, and man, it's wicked. You know, like there's nothing there, and all of a sudden there's a hole. What's in the hole? Well, that's to be seen. Also, the CSRs. Yep, I'm going to be the host of the CSRs again this year. I have all the nominations, and I have the winners too. If you want to know who the winners are, I'll give you my address. Send me a big USA check, you know, because everything's for sale. My mom used to live with me once. Now I sold her, just to tell you, you know. But I sold her for a good coin, so don't be cheap there, because look, we're talking 6 figures, all right? So if you're under 6 figures, I'm not even going to answer you back. US money. So that's it. Enjoy the show. Start having a good weekend, because I don't know when you watch the show. I put it up Saturday at midnight. I should say Friday night at midnight, which is Saturday morning, midnight. But it's funny, because midnight sounds like it's night. But it's actually Sunday morning. So how can morning be night? Huh? You ever think about that? That's what ADD does to you. It makes you think about stupid things like that. Have a good show.
Hello, this is Riccardo Masini, and this week's greatest day in history and games is September 6, 1914. The day when something incredible saved France from total defeat by the Germans in the very first weeks of World War I. Nothing short of a miracle. The miracle on the Marne. By the end of July and the beginning of August 1914, the German military machine was operating at full speed against the Western allies of the Entente. The pressing objective was to take the French and possibly the British out of the new war before the Russian army could mobilize and invade German Prussia from the east. This France First policy was based on a complex operational plan devised by the German command since 1911, the so-called von Schlieffen Plan. In the regional project of Isuto, 5 different German armies would have executed a broad sweeping movement from the Channel and Belgium down to the southern borders of Alsace and Lorraine, surrounding Paris and crippling any French capability of reaction. The man charged with the execution of the plan was General Helmut von Moltke, nephew of Field Marshal von Moltke, the commander behind Germany's triumph in the Franco-Prussian War of 1870. On their part, French forces were led by General Joseph Joffre. Highly aggressive and fervent supporter of maneuver warfare, Joffre tried to immediately enact his own plan for an offensive, the so-called Plan 17. The idea was to attack the Germans with an offensive outrance in the Moselle and Ardennes area, but in order to concentrate enough troops for the movement, Joffre left fatally undermanned the northern sectors near Belgium. And that's where the Germans struck, violating Belgian neutrality and immediately threatening the French capital itself. Even if Belgium put up a surprisingly effective resistance, the British expeditionary forces slowed the German steamroller at Mons and other crucial battles. The situation quickly became so desperate that Joffre had to cancel his first and very bloody offensives to organize an improvised defensive line around Paris. The French were lucky enough to have a very good general in charge of the area, though, General Simon Gallieni, that managed to hold the position and also gather a significant force of reserve troops for a resolute counterattack against the most advanced German forces. The Germans had problems of their own too. Sheer exhaustion, terrible losses, increasing logistical issues, and a growing threat of an attack in the east by Russia persuaded von Moltke to drastically alter the original plan, shifting resources and dramatically slowing down the advance. The First Army Commander General von Kluck disagreed on this and continued his advance, leaving only a limited contingent to cover his flank, just where Gallieni was massing his troops, in the region between the Marne and Ourcq rivers. On September 6, the French stopped their general retreat and attacked on a line stretching from Paris itself in the west to the Ourcq crucial position in the east. Von Kluck was taken by surprise and identified this last point as the weakest and began reinforcing it, taking troops away from the immediate Paris surroundings. Thus doing so, he created a dangerous gap in the center where battle but still capable British troops advanced in a slow but steady exploitation. This made the German position untenable, and on September 9th forced the German commander to grudgingly order a general retreat. Incredibly, Paris was saved, and the front moved north, away from the French capital. The war will go on then for another 4 terrible years, after which Germany will collapse, and the world will change forever. This was a very interesting campaign, a mobile warfare action just on the eve of the greatest situational conflict of all human history, and the game I've chosen for this time simulates it quite efficiently, Clash of Giants by Ted Brashear. In its essence, the game is not so different from the usual X and counter title, however, cheat pool activation and variable movement rates well represent the indecisions and the many mistakes made by the protagonists on both sides. Also, a very blood combat procedure, both for attacker and defender, correctly simulates the violent confrontations of this period, where all armies insisted on making frontal assaults against the lethal French 75mm guns, highly disciplined British rifle fire, and the implacable German machine guns. Basically, you roll to evaluate your losses, not the one of your enemy. The Marne campaign scenario captures the whole episode, while the limited allied counterattack is easily playable in a couple of hours. In the box, you will also find an exciting Thunderbird scenario putting Germans against the Russians, and the title is only the first in a series including other World War I and even American Civil War battles. While out of print and not easy to find, this series makes for a fine addition of moderate complexity and highly dynamic wargames to your collection. So, that's it for this week. See you on the next battlefield. Ciao!
And the man famously known as Calandale, Enrico Viglino, continues Fifth Frontier, War 1 and 2. I should say Wars 1 and 2, but he wrote War 1 and 2. Huh? Yeah. Mo of Mo's Game Table. The Day is Ours, The Battle of Princeton, 1777. Also, Parroy Forest from Chris Harding Simulation. Chris Harding is the guy who did Spear Point. So this is a new thing happening here. This is about France, the 20th of November to the 6th of October, 44. And the cop, that is Wayne Hansen. He's doing a playthrough of Defending America, overview and playthrough, and also let's chat again on Point Blank. V is for Victory, a game by Sean Drulinger, of which I interviewed. You want to check out the interview? Check out the channel. Also, ongoing, his reactions to Point Blank. And Wardy Roll plays World War II, looks at Autumn for Barbarossa, Senior Edition. Senior Edition, does that mean like Old Man Edition? Come on, Wardy. And as I was saying before, Mark Walker's got a video out on A Most Fearful Sacrifice, The 3 Days of Gettysburg, a game by Herman Latman, the Dream Team designer. Jan Heinemann of Let's Play History. I'm not going to read the German thing here, man, because I don't have the brain power right now. He's doing Civilization 6, 3 videos. David Fletcher in the Tank Museum. His bottom 5 British tanks. I mean, look at that tank. Holy cow. Can you imagine, man? World War I, this thing's coming at you. I'd freak out too. But I mean, look. It's built with rivets. A Luger can go through that. A cheap tank. Talking about lots of videos, man. Wise Guy History. He's doing like Time for Trumpets rules primer. It's primer, not primer. Number 5, Combat. You want to look? You're having a hard time reading the rule book? Check out Wise Guy. Doing Time for Trumpets, man. A Bruno Sinigalio game. You know, published by GMT. Also, the last Blitzkrieg campaign. And man, he's got like 12 videos on the last Blitzkrieg and a Time for Trumpets. He's got time, and the videos are quite lengthy. And on the big board, Kevin continues his playthrough of Rostov 41, turns 5 and 7. Legendary Tactics. This guy's got a lot of videos out, man, and he does great thumbnails, great stuff, okay? So he's checking out Smash Up, how to play that game. You know, I used to play that game. I was iffy on that. I didn't quite like it. I don't know if it was the artwork or the mechanics, but whatever. Liberation Theology, card by card. This is a Twilight Struggle strategy, card by card thing. Wingspan board game, high score. Hey, everybody says Wingspan's a great game. Brew, how to play in less than 17 minutes. Also, again from Twilight Struggle, Voice of America, card by card. And early access through the beta app on Steam, Dominion. I used to love that game. Man, did I shuffle cards. Diagonal Move is doing a White Dog game playthrough, Reconquista, also across the Bug River. And Volodymyr Volinsky 1941 to 19 something something, because he's got the dots there. Check it out. It's up to you. World War II Solitaire Board Game Channel. Man, that's quite a bit of subscribers there, eh? Congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. He does a playthrough of The Ship That Would Not Die, USS LaFay. Also, Scream, Aim, Fire! An unboxing of that. And an unboxing of The Ship That Would Not Die, USS LaFay. As we all know, the Professor Riccardo Mazzini is back! And a lovely thing that is. He's also, on his channel, he's got a warlog, which he says, we're going again, si riparte, we're starting again. And another warlog dossier, Sua Maestra l'Esagono. You know what? I don't know what this means, man. Something about hexagon and maestra. I don't know, he's got me there. Yeah, sure, I speak Italian. Look, I forget. Patrick's Tactics and Tutorials continues his campaign of Hood Strikes North, scenario number 9, and Command and Colors Ancient. Tutaburgen. I don't know how to spell that. I say that. I need Hans Heinemann. Jan Heinemann. What am I saying? Hans. Or the police, the phonetics police. Alan Dickerson, Stigler. Combat Board Games takes a look at Gamebook Zine. Looking at Gamebook Zine with a Desert Storm and a World War II war game. John Butterfly. I thought it was John Butterfield here, but can a butterfly save the world? Find out. I Butterfly. Hey, it is what it is. Dawn of Battle, a game by Worthington Publishing by Mark Nagel. And this, my God, I cut off who is doing this. But I'll put it up. It's because the way I did the screenshot. God, it's going on. Fred Serval of Homo Ludens. Right, this guy's my favorite Frenchman living in England. Figure out, they used to be like mortal enemies, English and French. What do you want? The world's changing. And he has David Thompson. Okay, what a nice guy. You want a nice guy? It's David Thompson. Europe Divided, rules, teach, and playthrough with David Thompson, the designer of Europe Divided. And Hex to Hex is still going on. Goss, learning how to play Goss system, and he's using Hurtgen's Hell's Forest. So that's turn 1. Also, Autumn for Barbarossa, McMurray on boxes or on bags. Across 5 Aprils with McMurray. KilRoyWasHere, my consigliere, Robert Carroll, who is also a CSR Charles S. Roberts winner of 2020 last year. Come on, that means something. He goes off the shelf playing The Other Side. Also, Nuclear Winter 68, Heart of Darkness by Lock and Load, and Nuclear Winter 68, the core game. He's unboxing and giving us a brief overview of that game. Those games, I should say. The core game and the expansion, which is Heart of Darkness. And for our Spanish viewers, of which I hope we have many, Julius Fairfax shows us War of the Triple Alliance. La Guerra de la Triple Alianza. Sorry. And Tony of Tony's Board Life. He's a teacher too. Comancheria, Part 3, HD. I don't get it. HD what? Hard drive, high definition. Is that what you're saying, Tony? High definition. Stop it with these acronyms. Fleet Commander Nimitz turns 3, 4, and 5 on Dave's Gaming Cave. Guys and girls, again, I keep saying guys, but I use guys for everything, man. And I was corrected by a 6-year-old girl. She said, I'm not a guy. Yeah, right, you're not a guy, but look, I was born in the 60s, and you're all guys to me. Whatever. Huh? So, Dave's Gaming Cave. Come on, just subscribe. My God, what's it gonna take? Once I said Cody Carlson of the Discriminating Gamer, he had a master's. He doesn't have a master's. This is Dr. Cody. He's got a doctorate, man. Okay, I'm sorry, Cody. Gonna tell you, man. Sometimes, things elude me. He's checking out Worthington Publishing's French and Indian War. By the way, Worthington Publishing is kicking hiney. You want to start someone on war games? Look no further than Worthington Publishing. They're not paying me to say this. It's just because their production value is incredible. Incredible. It looks great, so therefore it'll be pleasing to the eye of the person you want to sucker in to play war games. You voted for him not on anybody else's channel, but on No Enemies Here, my channel, Jim Ozarski, the Grognard of the year 2020. So he's playing Command and Colors, and he's got this Chain of Commands Part 2. And where are we? For Chain of Commands. Chain of Command. I don't know. That's not a scenario. So it's a teaching thingy. But you know what? He's Grognard of 2020, so he knows of what he talks about, unlike me.
Hello everyone, this is Michel Sorbet from the Polish YouTube channel Wojennik TV. As always, here is my weekly roundup of the content published on Wojennik TV during the last 7 days. On Sunday, I presented the last part of my playthrough of Ardennes in 1944, the famous Polish wargame about the Battle of the Bulge, published in the early 90s of the past century. This was the fourth and final part of the game in which the Germans tried to reach the Meuse. Did they achieve that goal? Well, you can take a look at the video and see for yourself. On Tuesday, the video in English, and this was the unboxing of Tomb for an Empire, a game published by Bellica Third Generation, a Spanish company, And this is a game about the Peninsular War during the Napoleonic Wars. So an extremely interesting game, an extremely interesting topic, because the Peninsular War is very often considered a secondary front during the Napoleonic Wars. But in fact, this was the French quagmire. This was a source of constant problems for the emperor. Many very important troops were tied up in the Peninsular War, and the French were not free to use them elsewhere. So this was a very bloody, very terrible conflict, which ultimately led to a French defeat. So this is a game which enables us to recreate the whole conflict. We can play the whole campaign or play only single battles, because the game allows us to do so. If you want to see how the components of this game look, I invite you to take a look at this video. On Wednesday, the Polish unboxing, and this was the unboxing of Trzecie Powstanie 1921, the Third Uprising 1921. This is a very fresh game, published by Pospolite Ruszenie Szlachty Ziemi Krakowskiej, a Polish company, which is focused on creating historical games about Polish history. And this was an interesting project because it was created for the 100th anniversary of this uprising, the Third Silesian Uprising, during which Polish troops managed to secure parts of the Silesia in order to convince the Allies who were deliberating at that time to give those parts of ex-Germany to Poland after World War I. And thanks to this uprising, which was one of the few Polish successful uprisings, not the majority, but the eastern part of Silesia was attached to Poland, who was reborn after the First World War. So this is a game which enables us to recreate this uprising. This was the unboxing, so if you want to see how the components of this game look, just take a look at this video on my channel. Finally, on Friday, the Polish review. This was the review of Small Star Empires by Arcona Games. This is a small scale game which enables us to recreate small scale combats in space. We will be trying to secure the biggest possible empire on a small map consisting of tiles. Not a war game, but quite an interesting, quite an entertaining title. So this was the Polish version of this review. And those were the 4 videos that I published on Wojennik TV during the last 7 days. Thank you a lot. I wish you a terrific weekend. Have a great gaming, and see you next time.
And the father and daughter team of game full of themes, or should I say games full of themes. Hey, look, this is a great family channel, and he's a war gamer. You know, and man, he's with his daughter. What's his daughter gonna play? You know, Time for Trumpets? Man, no, he's not gonna play Time for Trumpets. By the way, Bruno Sinigalio was at Consim World. I asked STUKAJOE that, and someone answered, yes, he's there. Man, what a hard man. This guy's got a hard face. It's like, you can't approach him. Super approachable. He's a teddy bear. Anyways, check out games full of theme on Back to the Table. My Own Worst Enemies unboxing The War, the Pacific 1941 to 45 of Compass Games. New directions in gaming. Ben Hirsch is back with the teaching episodes. Learn to play with easy rules. Yes, Ben really knows how to teach easy rules. Know what I'm saying? So Harsh Rules, breaking down board games with Ben Hirsch, part 3 of The Last 100 Yards, in which he features Infantry Unit Actions, a game by Mike Denson, of which I interviewed. So check it out on my channel. You want to know what Mike Denson looks like? Check it out. You want to know what kind of character he is? Check it out. I'll tell you, he's a nice guy. You want to know about the Indian princess spy who fought the Nazis? Sure you do. Check out Wars of the World, right? And this is an incredible British female spy of World War II. Personally, I thought she was Indian, but that's what it says here, British. Because if you're British, you ain't Indian. Jeff McAleer of the gaming gang is looking great. You're looking great, Jeff. He's unboxing the first look at Soviet Dawn. That's on the gaming gang. This is a game. My God, I think it's by Worthington Publishing, if I'm not mistaken. It's a super duper deluxe game. Super duper. Hardy of ARDWULF'S LAIR! I don't know if I can call him my buddy. You know what I mean? You ever see that Bugs Bunny thing where the big bulldog and the little chihuahua? Well, I feel like a little chihuahua compared to this guy. Because this guy, man, he's got knowledge. You know what I'm saying? He's got knowledge. At one time, I even threw something stupid like, you want to play Trivial Pursuit? And he says, I'll kick your butt, because he used to read the cards while going to the can. But anyways, he's counterclipping war games of the decade, 50s and 70s. The 50s, man. And then we were together, and it was a fun show, man. I just got back from work when those kids were driving me crazy, and that was the show. I couldn't believe it, but I think I had 4 seltzers down my throat when we were doing that. But anyways, everything you wanted to know about wargaming, but we're afraid to ask. You know, he says here with Devil Dan, and maybe some more people. Well, we didn't have more people, but Devil Dan, yeah, I was a bit loopy. I even stood up on a chair, and Kilroy said, you know, don't ever do that again, because I don't know what showed in the camera. Well, what can I tell you? He's also unboxing Panzer's Last Stand, Battles for Budapest, 1945. Obviously, Artie is an MMP guy, so this is an MMP game. The Board Game Chronicles, he's doing Successors, 4th edition, 3-player gameplay example. This is a game by Phalanx. And also, man, you want to learn how to play Fields of Fire? You think the rule book is hard? Don't forget to tune into my interview with Ben Hull, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. I'm being in touch with Ben. I hope he can do it, but you'll know because I'm going to put out an ad for that. You want to learn how to play Fields of Fire? The rule book is hard, blah, blah, blah. Well, check out Board Game Chronicles, man. A video playthrough. That's the way I learn. And the gentlemen of the Player's Aid are unboxing Defending America from Compass Games, obviously designed by Gregory M. the Animal Smith, and they're reviewing An Attrition of Souls from Compass Games. What's going on with Compass Games? They're all over the place these days. 6 Actual has quite a bit of videos, nice thumbnails here. He's checking out Flat Top, World War II carrier battles, right? Also, Defending America, a game by Gregory M. the Animal Smith. And he was doing Behind Enemy Lines, a World War II RPG, which is really very interesting. That's 6 Actual. Come on, guys. Subscribe, guys and girls. Subscribe to this guy's channel. This guy does good stuff, man. You know? Let's encourage the guy. The voice, and I mean it, and the lights of Seek Out and Play. This guy should have his own BBC or Vermont public television show, man, because this is it. This guy is amazing. I love him. Do I have time to watch him? Bloody hell, not really, but that doesn't take anything away from him, because who am I, first of all, right? Anyways, Soldiers in Postman Uniform, a game designed by David Thompson and published by DVG. You know what, David Thompson? What a guy. And Seek Out and Play, I swear. You know, when I grow up, I want to have his voice, and I want to have his lighting technique. Only when I grow up. And GIMPY of the GIMPY Gamer, Company of Heroes board game. His final thoughts. This was a huge video section, series. Also, he continues Point Blank from Lock and Load Publishing, Bootcamp 24, Melee versus AFV and WT. Look, it's AFV versus WT. It's full of acronyms around here. Dad versus son, he's still into the next war. Vietnam, the gates of Hanoi turns 2A and B. Come on, Dad. And Bonding with Board Games, The Chief is live with John Paniski, designer of Planes, Indian Wars by GMT. You know, I met John Paniski, and I even I interviewed him. What a nice, soft-spoken guy, man. This guy's calm. Before the storm? No, he's calm. He's calm. Nice guy, man. Jason Cruz of HEXES and Soldier, the philosopher of war games. He gives us 2 videos, man, on a painting session and also Hurricane Ida. Okay, he gives us some info on that. So if you're in the area, which you're probably not in the area anymore, it's a video to watch. ID Jester is not doing war games presently, but what is a war game? Don't answer that. I really don't care. Lord of Fate, he gives us information on that, parts 1 and 2, and Sentinels of the Multi-Universe, Gloomware in the Temple of Zhulong, ... that is, right? Also, he's in the War Room with the Rough Swordsman Wargamer and the Hugh Hefner of War Games. Warty Robe plays media, games, and yeah. The History Underground, this guy goes around, he's a history buff, and lots of interesting stuff. You know, this time he's exploring a battle-tested Huey of the Vietnam War. So this is episode 161. He checks out the Huey. Check it out. Lock and Load Publishing is like gearing up for Point Blank. V is for victory. I think the Kickstarter's like $90. Hey man, I'm in. You know what I'm saying? I'm in. And also, they give us demonstrations of gameplay of Point Blank. Also, Red Gauntlet, a DLC for Lock and Load Tactical Digital, which is now on Steam. STUKAJOE is at Consciention World, and he has lots of videos. Okay, I saw one yesterday when I came back from school. I was ruined, but I checked it out. I even commented a few times. Joe's a great guy. I love him, man, I swear. So check out his videos on Consciention World. He's got a slew of them. Like he's walking around the table. He's just showing us around. Interview with Randy Lane of Legion War Games. And, you know, late night unboxings, his purchases at Consciention World. You know what? It's a lot of fun, man. You know, this is TV made for us. Like, what are we going to watch? The news? Hey? The news. Come on.
Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions Review, the punk rock band of wargame review institutions. This week we did a review on the website, 2 first look videos, and an episode of Wargame Chat. The game we reviewed was War at Sea from Avalon Hill. It's a very abstracted naval combat game about the Atlantic Theater in World War II. It's fun to play, but some may find it needing more detail. As far as first look videos, we did a video on Axis and Allies 1941. Axis and Allies 1941 is a fun area control World War II game. The game has great components but very simple rules. I'd list this as one of the best war games for introducing new people to the hobby because the rules are easy enough that somebody who has never played a war game before will have no trouble learning them. The next first look video we did was Rome Incorporated. It's a solitaire game from Against the Odds magazine, number 53. It looks really interesting, and after glancing through the rulebook, it looks like it's designed to appeal to the same gamers as Time of Crisis, which is good because I like Time of Crisis. Last, we did Wargame Chat number 22. In this episode, we discussed battles that we like, but most people have never heard of. Thanks for watching. If any of you are selling old Judges Guild role-playing games, magazines like Dungeoneer and so forth, let me know. Have a good evening.
Hello all! Today, Kilroy goes off the shelf on Playing the Other Side. Well, recent events got me thinking about what is the other side, and when is it appropriate to play the other side, and is there really even another side? And war games bring this out as much as any other game because it's based on historical, more often than not, it's based on historical conflicts, and there are two sides, or sometimes even more, to a conflict. So when thinking about the other side, there's three concepts that kind of came to me to kind of help frame this issue, and that is perspective, time, and purpose. And when you're looking at perspective, depending upon your background or your ancestry or your affiliations, you might have a different perspective on the conflicts. If you're from Germany or have a German background, or Japanese, you're going to have a different perspective on World War I and World War II and the Russo-Japanese War. You're just going to have a different perspective on that. And so perspective does kind of help frame and how we look at playing these games and who is the other side. There's also the old adage of the victor writes the history, and that comes into play as well, because sometimes our impressions of history and also our learnings through war games is shaped by how that is portrayed, or shaped by who is the perceived victor in some of those conflicts. The next element is time, and with the passage of time, sometimes the conflicts become more amenable or more playable, or not as controversial. I don't think anybody is disputing or fighting over if Genghis Khan was a good guy or a bad guy or the other side, or if Alexander the Great was a good guy or a bad guy or the other side. We're really kind of far removed from that, and we can look at history and see how history plays out in those elements. However, more recent events, it becomes a little tougher. It's playing World War II, for example. Although that's been a while now, there's still some very strong feelings about who is the other side and playing those other sides. Some people have no problem with that, and I'll get to that. That probably comes under purpose more than it comes under these other two elements. But time does play an element in more recent events, or war games that are portraying more recent events. Take, for example, A Distant Plain and Labyrinth. Those are relatively recent events, and some of the events that are portrayed in there, some war gamers or potential war gamers might have experienced those, might have been part of that, might have had family members or friends that were part of that, and have painful memories that come from that, or something that they really don't want to experience in a game format. So time plays an element as far as playing the other side, or playing war games as well. And then the third aspect is, as I was saying, was purpose. And that's like, what is our purpose for playing the games? I mean, if our purpose is really just to explore history and try to understand history and try to understand the event, then sometimes there's not really a big issue of which side you pick, because you're just trying to explore history and see what were the decisions that each side had, and what decisions each leader had, and what were the constraints of that, and how did terrain affect that, and how did the different weapons of the day affect that. And so you're really just trying to explore history. If your purpose is to win, that you're really playing this as a game and you want to win, well, there could be some more conflict there. But still, I mean, it is a game, and you're just trying to play under the rules of the game and trying to win that game. I think the purpose that kind of comes up with the most conflict is that you're trying to take this as more of a role-playing aspect, or trying to immerse yourself into the side that you have chosen or have gotten stuck with to play, and that you're really trying to figure out their motivations and trying to push that forward. There could be some more conflict that comes with that. And I think that solitaire games, show this more than other games, in that, when you're playing both sides, somebody has to pick a side, right? And somebody has to play the other side if you're going to play that game or play that conflict or simulate that conflict. Whereas solitaire games kind of force you to take a side, and, more often than not, it's whatever the good guys are or whatever the victors were. But sometimes you get games, like Zero Leader, where, you're playing the Japanese and you're tackling the engagement from their perspective. Or Interceptor Ace, where you're tackling it from the Germans' perspective. Or, by Stealth and Sea, where you're taking it from the Italian perspective. So there are different perspectives and different ways to look at these engagements. And, really who is the other side. And so I just thought, based on, again, some recent events and looking at who is the other side and how we play games, I just thought it would be interesting to look at some of those concepts and how we as wargamers kind of deal with that. Do we just say, no, I'm just looking at it from the historical standpoint, and I'm going to disassociate myself with, the actual events or more recent events, and I can play this as a game and as a historical exercise? Or do I, am I a little bit too close to it? Is this still something that I just don't want to play that side? I just can't see myself playing that side, and it's not going to be enjoyable for me. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Another week, and what a hell of a week this was. And another show, and what a hell of a show this is. Please like, subscribe. Please stop now. Just press subscribe. What's it gonna take? Come on, I got like 3,000 viewers per episode, and I don't have 3,000 subscriptions yet. Please do it, please. And also, support this channel. You're not getting one channel, okay? It's $5 a month, right? So we'll break it down per week. You're getting 2 channels. I do the interviews and the war game news. So that's $1.25 per week. Split that in half, and that's like 66.22269 cents per episode. For God's sakes, it's a lot of work. Madonna mia. Okay, so as I promised, I'm going to read out the nominees for the CSR Charles S. Robert Awards, and I'm going to read you a couple, right? So we're going to go with early Gunpowder board games. The nominees are, and this is not the show, because I'm going to have the show, and I'm going to tell you who the winner is, but I'm not going to tell you who the winner is here. But if you do want to know who the winner is here, I got my email down below. Write me a big check, U.S. funds, and I promise you, okay, you'll get the winners. With an NDA, by the way, which is a non-disclosure agreement. Early Gunpowder board war games. Here we go. Command and Colors Tricorn, Jacobite Rising, Compass Games. Imperial Struggle from GMT. The Conquistadors, the Spanish Conquest of America, or of the Americas, I should say, 1518 to 1548 by Compass Games. The Great Crisis of Frederick II by VUCA Simulations. This War Without an Enemy, Nuts. What, the enemy's got no nuts? By Nuts Publishing. Sorry, it was just written wrong. This War Without an Enemy by Nuts Publishing. Napoleonic nominees. Dawn's Early Light, The War of 1812 by Compass. Napoleon, 1807 by Shakos. Napoleon's Wheel, an OSG publication. The Shores of Tripoli by Fort Circle Games. War and Peace, a game of the Napoleonic Wars by One Small Step. Now, I just gave you 2 categories. Because I'm a nice guy, okay, I'll give you another category. Late Gunpowder nominees, all right? Dawn of Empire, the Spanish-American Naval War in the Atlantic, 1898 by Compass. Freedom by Phalanx. Into the Lion's Mouth, the Second Anglo-Sikh War, 1848 to 1849 by White Dog Games, that is. Also La Belle Époque, Aleph Games Studio. Red Sun, Blue Cross, Bonsai Games, I should say. Let me read that again, okay? La Belle Époque is by Aleph Game Studios. Red Sun by Blue Cross Bonsai Games. Yeah, sure. I know who the winners are. Obviously, I'm involved. I told you, send me a check. You know what? I'm a real nice guy. How about the American Civil War nominees, okay? Here goes. Chancellorsville, 1863 by Worthington Publishing. Hood Strikes North, the Tennessee Campaign, the Fall of 1864 by MMP, Multi-Man Publishing. Shiloh, 1862 by Worthington. Woo! 2 nominations in this category. And Shiloh, First Day by Lumaka Games. Lumaka means snail. And Cedar Mountain, 1862 by Vae Victis. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all I'm going to tell you. Stop the video. Listen to me again. I don't know why you would want to do that. But anyways, again, like, subscribe. Please support this channel. Lots of work. More work than you can imagine. Kabish? Have a great weekend. For us, it's a long weekend. I don't work Monday. And I'm starting to get into seltzers because it's low carbs and low alcohol and very refreshing. But I made a mistake. This is not it. Hard cherry berry. Have a great weekend. Jason Cruz. Let me know how you're doing, man. Ciao.